Yo, what is up, guys? It's Freddy Knows Ball, and we're back here with a brand new video today. Let's get right into it. All right, guys, so one thing to note about expressions is that they don't have an equal sign. If you want to think of it as equations versus expressions, expressions don't have an equal sign. And so you're really just trying to manipulate the equation, whether it's factoring or anything like that, in order to get it in the way that the answer choices want it. So let's go ahead and look at an example. Which expression is equivalent to 16x cubed y squared plus 14xy? All right, so I'm seeing variables in both parts of the expression, right? On the left side of the plus sign and the right side. So I'm gonna try to factor out that x and that y and see where we end up. Also, we have a 16 and a 14, which are both multiples of 2. So we can factor a 2 out as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. 2xy, 8x squared y plus 7. So as you can see, literally all I did was factor out the xy and factor out the 2, and we got our answer. So all we had to do in that one was factor. Unfortunately, Desmos also can't help you much with expressions because there's no equal sign, but we still ball. Here's the next one. If p equals 3x plus 4 and v equals x plus 5, which of the following is equivalent to pv minus 2p plus v? All right, so for this one, we actually can use Desmos, I think. All right, so all you have to do for this problem is type into Desmos p equals 3x plus 4, then on another line, v equals x plus 5, and then right underneath that, type in pv minus 2p plus v. Immediately, Desmos will spit out a fully expanded quadratic expression. And that expression is literally your answer. So this is actually a cheat code, guys. Please don't sleep on this, and let's move on to the next one. Which of the following expressions is equivalent to 8x to the 10th minus 8x to the 9th plus 88x? All right, so just from looking at this, I'm seeing that there's going to be factoring involved again. So I don't even think Desmos is necessary here. We're just factoring out the 8 and we're factoring out the x. So when we do that, we get 8x, x to the 9th minus x to the 8th plus 11. And the correct answer is D. So yeah, that one was pretty simple. Now let's go over exponents, okay? So an exponent is essentially when you have this little number in the top right corner, and you can experiment with it on Desmos. It can do plenty of different things. Essentially, let's say you have 2 to the power of 3. That's essentially saying that you're multiplying 2 3 times. So 2 times 2 times 2. But yeah, let's go into the first practice question and you guys will see how this actually goes into the SAT. All right, so actually before we get into the question, I want to mention that when you are multiplying variables that have exponents, the exponents add together, okay? And in this question, that will be prevalent. So I just wanted to give you guys a little heads up. But here's the question. Which expression is equivalent to m to the 4th, q to the 4th, z to the negative 1st times m q to the 5th, z to the 3rd, where m, q, and z are positive? All right, so since we are multiplying everything here, m to the 4th times m by itself is m to the 5th. And that's because when the variable doesn't have an exponent, you can assume that it has 1 as an exponent because anything to the first power is itself. So m to the 5th, and that already only leaves us with one answer choice, which is B. So we already know that B is correct. Let's go ahead and continue through the problem though, just to understand it. Q to the 4th times q to the 5th is 4 plus 5, so q to the 9th, and z to the negative 1st times z to the 3rd is going to be negative 1 plus 3, which is z to the 2nd, or z squared. And yeah, that's all you guys have to know really for the exponents. Anything else you can plug into your calculator, especially if there's actual numbers, which you might see on the first module, but yeah. Also, just to mention, I don't have any examples of it, but when you have a variable with an exponent on it, and then a fraction, and then another variable with an exponent on it, you subtract. Similar to how in multiplication you add them, when it's division or fractions, you subtract. But yeah, just wanted to throw that out there, and that's pretty much all you guys need to know for exponents. There are some other ways to manipulate expressions and stuff, but they are much more complex, and we might not get to those. That is going to wrap up the video for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Please feel free to like and subscribe, as well as leave any questions you have in the comments below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.